What's up, guys? This is Sam Talks About Games, and today I'm going to be talking about an all-digital future and what it means for gaming. When do I think physical games are going to be phased out, and what do I think it means for the gaming universe? I will add that if you like my content, please subscribe and like, and it would help if you interact with the video. Moving forward, yeah, I believe an all-digital future is coming. Here's some reasons why. For one, physical sales are going down and down and down. For two, games made that are physical are going down. Games such as Alan Wake 2 and Like a Dragon Gaiden are not physical at all. And Like a Dragon Gaiden and Alan Wake 2 are massive games. The Yakuza franchise is massive. The Alan Wake franchise is pretty big. So, yeah, I think this is a big deal that they're going all digital, and I think it's marking a message. They're sending a message to Sony and Xbox, and even Nintendo. So, when do I believe the all digital future is going to arrive? Well, I believe it's going to be on a timeline. So I believe it started in 2020, the all-digital future, due to these all-digital consoles releasing. We already saw a decline in physical media during the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One generation. From 2013 onwards is when GameStop was really out of their element, and that was due to the fall of physical media. For most people, digital simply is too convenient to get physical again. Me personally, I get a lot of digital games recently. Ever since 2021, I've been buying mostly digital, especially on my Switch, because digital on there is more convenient. I do buy big games, physical, such as Tears of the Kingdom, etc. But my point is, even I've started to convert to this digital age. I know digital ownership isn't guaranteed due to the servers, but I believe in an all-digital future. At least I'd like to think that they will revise to laws for you to own the game instead of having a digital license. Because if they're the only people on the market, they really gotta crack down on this stuff and make sure it's right. I'm not against an all digital future unless they do this digital license stuff going into it. For example, Ubisoft is currently revoking ownership to their games on PC if you're inactive for a certain period of time, which is honestly baffling to me. It's mind-boggling. Because you did pay for that game and you are supposed to own it, but I don't know, Ubisoft's just off the rails, I guess. But yeah, when do I think this all digital future is going to arrive? I think for PlayStation, it's up in the air whether it'll happen for PlayStation 6. Maybe so, maybe PlayStation 7, definitely by PlayStation 7. Xbox, I think they're going to do it with their next console. I think they're already prepping for the digital future, and even PlayStation is to an extent. So I think Xbox's next console, which will be 2028-ish. PlayStation, I don't know. PlayStation 6 or 7, I don't know. Nintendo, obviously they won't do it for Switch 2 since Switch 2 is next year. It'll be for the next console after that. Yeah, that's when I think that the timeline is going to be. Next off, I'm going to list some things that I want them to change in this all-digital future. Like I said, I don't mind an all-digital future. I do buy a lot of my games digitally. As long as they change some of their laws around and they're not completely consumer, just trashing on consumers. For one, I know there is often sales, but companies like Nintendo and Sony are not doing a lot of sales for their first-party games. Demon's Souls is still consistently $70, and when you see it on sale, it's for $50. Nintendo does the infamous $41.99 for a lot of their games. My point is, do more sales, make it more like the physical stores, because you're getting all the money from that product. When you're selling digital, you're giving none of it to anybody else. All you're giving is taxes to the IRS. You get everything. So they should at least be a little generous, right? Furthermore, I think that they should change the laws, like I said before, to where you own the digital ownership of it. It's not just a license. And let's take another step forward and just ensure backwards compatibility across all systems of a certain manufacturer in order to level that up more. You get ownership of all your digital games, and due to backwards compatibility, it doesn't matter if they shut the old servers down because you got the new ones. So, yeah, that's what I think they should do. And I do think the industry is headed for. I mean, I think Xbox and Sony are doing backwards compatibility for good. Nintendo's up in the air, but we've heard that it's going to be there for Switch 2. There's uncertainty, but it's likely going to be there with Switch 2. They'd be dumb not to do it. So yeah, we see the backwards compatibility point. We don't see the digital ownership anytime soon, though. And that is something that needs to change, because it's quite frustrating thinking about it, really. Yeah. Now I'm going to go into pros of an all-digital future. One pro is the convenience. It's very convenient, and you could just hop into a game anytime you like. So that's very convenient instead of putting a disc or a cartridge into your console. Another pro is everything's cohesive. You have everything in one place, which kind of ties to the point I made before. Another point that nobody really talks about is game sharing. You could game share your digital library with a person of your choice on most platforms. You can even find a loophole to do it on Nintendo Switch. So that's more valuable, I think, than some of the other ways you can share physical games, although you cannot sell your digital games again. Me personally, I'm not the type to sell my games, so, that doesn't concern me. But yeah, I think those are some pros. Let's go into some cons. One con is something I've said before. They're not guaranteed to do this digital ownership thing. They could do this digital license thing, and gamers could be screwed. It's true. It could happen like that. But we shall see. This is Ubisoft we're talking about, not other companies. So we got to be fair here. Once again, companies are not your friend, right? No company's your friend. Nintendo's not your friend. Sony's not your friend. Xbox isn't your friend. At the end of the day, they're just trying to make money. And even all of Xbox's attempts to be consumer friendly are just to make money. Let's be honest here. Yeah, another con I could see is for collectors. Collectors will have nothing to collect anymore. But I can see kind of a remedy for this. Maybe there can be collectibles released for big games. So Spider-Man 2, they could release like a $10 like little statue of Spider-Man 2, like Symbiote or something like that, and that could be a collectible for that game. For the next 3D Mario, they could have a $15 statue of Mario from that game. You get my point. You can have collectibles for a certain game that signifies that game, that is essentially the equivalent of a physical copy, even if it's not a physical game, because it signifies that game. And essentially, especially for PlayStation and Xbox, physical copies at this point are just pretty much keys to unlock a game. You don't get everything complete on it anyway, and You always have to download a day one patch. I do wish physical games were like the old days, but it's not like that anymore. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the all digital future. We shall see where it brings us. That's about it. See ya.